you could join me. German Chancellor Angela Merkel has made her first official visit to the former Auschwitz death camp. Now, the site in Poland was the Nazis' largest death camp during the Second World War. Chancellor Merkel's visit marked the 10th anniversary of the foundation that preserves the memorial. She paid tribute to the victims of the camp and spoke of the necessity of remembering the atrocities committed there.
It's almost midday when German Chancellor Angela Merkel arrives at the place that evokes the crimes of the Nazi era like no other. Auschwitz, former concentration and extermination camp, the murder machine. By 1945, as many as 1.5 million people had been killed here by the Nazis. Silently, Merkel approaches the so-called Wall of Death with the Polish Prime Minister. At this wall, the Germans shot dead thousands of Poles. This is Merkel's first visit to Auschwitz as Chancellor. For 24 years, no German Chancellor has walked through this gate, beneath a sign with a cynical slogan, "Work sets you free." A survivor who recalls the cruelty he experienced as a child at the hands of the Germans tells Merkel how much these prisoners yearn to be free.
Since the beginning, since August 1944, when I first arrived, we were asking when it is that we can be free. And the capos would laugh at us and say, "Well, you want to be free. Don't you see the chimneys? That's how you will be free."
Merkel says she feels deep shame at the horrors of Auschwitz. The crimes should be silently remembered, she says, but this shouldn't be the only response.
This site obliges us to keep the memories alive. We have to remember the crimes, we have to identify the perpetrators and to commemorate the victims in a dignified manner. That is our enduring responsibility. It's not open to negotiation.
Keeping these memories alive is becoming more difficult as fewer and fewer survivors remain. That's why this memorial site is so important. The German Chancellor promised to make 60 million euros available for renovations. This will go towards repairing barracks, gas chambers, and fences, so they remain a visual reminder of Germany's crimes.
Well, DW correspondent Thomas Sparrow was at the memorial ceremony and he sent us his impressions of the Chancellor's speech.
This was Angela Merkel's first visit to Auschwitz-Birkenau since she became Chancellor 14 years ago, and it was also the first time that a German Chancellor visits this site in nearly 25 years. This explains why Angela Merkel's visit was described as one of historic dimensions. Angela Merkel gave a speech today in which she stressed Germany's guilt, Germany's historic responsibility, and how that responsibility is a very important part of Germany's identity as a nation. But she also stressed the lessons that can be drawn from that past, in particular lessons for today's context. And that context today in Germany and Europe is marked by a rise in anti-Semitism.
Thomas Sparrow there in Auschwitz. Well, we can talk more about this now with DW political correspondent Emmanuel Schaz. Good to see you, Emmanuel. You know, many people are asking why it took Merkel so long to visit in an official capacity. I mean, she's been Chancellor for 14 years and this was her first visit to Auschwitz.
And in fact, it has been even 24 years since a German chancellor visited Auschwitz. So it was a long overdue visit. Angela Merkel is no stranger to such ceremonies, though she visited concentration camps in Germany of Dachau, Buchenwald, Ravensbrück. Also, the federal president of Germany, Frank-Walter Steinmeier, was in Poland for the commemorations of the beginning of World War II earlier on this year in September.